Okay, so I promised this. I've got the PEI or PIE magnetic plate that I'm going to be putting on my TronXY. Going to do a few fiddly things. I want to probably see if I can put the induction probe a little bit lower just to make sure there's no accidents with the tip crashing into this. So what I'm going to do first, and this is a dual drive. There's two stepper motor drives, but they're not synchronized, and the stupid thing is the firmware on this thing turns the drive off to them when it's not doing anything, which means they just free float. If you push too hard on it, it'll actually go whiz, and then you've got to go and manually start twisting them to balance it out. I actually have never balanced or leveled the bed with the screws on here since I've got it. Did it once. I find that all of the problems I get are either because something's disturbed it and it's slightly off in the forwards backwards, but worse is the left right because I've pushed on one of them and the lead screw's screwed down. Then I just manually twist it up until it's right, and I'll keep twisting it until it levels. So I actually manually level it by adjusting it that way. I do have a synchronous belt that I'm going to put on here, but I don't like it because it just gets in the way down the bottom here, and it's a bit of a storage space down here where I put all my junk. So in order for me not to lose synchronization and keep everything level and I don't have to go through that process every time, whenever I do anything on here, like when I'm scraping a part off or something, I go to manual and then I'll drive it down a few times. You can see it going down now. That's locked in now. Those motors, when you're in manual drive mode, those motors are locked in solid and it's just not going to move anywhere. That's solid. You can push on it. Those motors are locked. Now if you click those against the stepper motor, you can actually torque them and they'll go one click at a time. There's 200 steps to a revolution. Actually I think this one's about 2.5 millimeters to a turn. So I find when I'm about 0.1 millimeters out, I click it a couple of times because there's a bit of an issue. You're not measuring it the full width. It extends past the bed. 2 to 3 clicks usually brings it up. So if I'm finding that usually the right side is higher when I'm doing the leveling, I'll stop the leveling, I'll click it 3 times, and then I'll start the leveling again, and that usually brings it for that 0.1 millimeters. I've had it 0.4 and more out, so that's just when it slips and it goes. Okay, so I've dropped the bed. The drive hasn't been applied yet to the XY head, so I'm moving that over. Got some Allen keys here. I'm going to just, you can't see it from this side, but there's a induction sensor on the left. I'm just going to loosen that off and see if I can bring that down a little lower. Got a few spare of these, by the way. There we go. So that's actually probably brought it down about 1 millimeter more. I'm actually just going to give that a quick test and see where it comes out at. Something else I always do, I always run the heater on the head just to make sure that little blob of plastic on the end is melted so that it doesn't drive it into the bed as well. So I'm just heating that up. That you can leave that running. If I go to the home function and just see where it ends up, and then we'll do the Z level and see, the Z offset and see where it comes at. And then I think I'm going to be ready to pull this off and stick the self-adhesive plate on. So while that is getting ready, what I'm going to do over here is get some IPA ready. Just your standard garden variety isopropyl alcohol. I'll spray that onto the bed and clean it off when I stick the magnetic plate on. Alright, we're just coming up now. It should sense, that's good. That's got a good couple of millimeters now. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. If I cancel that and do a Z offset, I just want to make sure that it's not too far down. I don't want the probe contacting the bed, which would infer that it'll contact whatever I'm printing. As long as it's just above, which it'll do that now. Dodgy old firmware, it always has to do a home before it does that, but anyway, now it'll do that height again, which it's just done. Yeah, that's got a good millimeter on it. Now I've got a, this is I think the receipt from when I bought the printer probably. Yeah, I don't know what that's for, but anyway, it's my one bit of paper that I've been using to do my height calibration for a long time. Yeah, okay, so that's good. There's plenty of space still there between the probe. It's probably about 2.5 to 3 millimeters between the probe. That means the default position, because it always seems to go back to the default even after you've done this 0, is always a good bit of clearance. So it always goes back to the default. I'm going to now, always something whenever you do this, man, especially after you've done this operation, after you've set to 0, I go 10 millimeter and then go down, because it'll always go across, which is stupid, and drag the head across the bed and then lift it up. Right, back to manual. I'm going to lower us down. So there's other software and stuff that people put on here, but I just like the simplicity of the LCD touchscreen on this. I don't want to put a Raspberry Pi and all sorts of other crap on here. Apparently there's a whole lot of that motion stuff that you can do to get the vibration out. I don't think it's a fast enough printer to be able to benefit from that. Maybe one day. I think rather before I waste my life trying to fiddle around with this thing, I'll probably just end up getting a Prusa. Not a Prusa, a Bamboo. I think Prusa's dropped the ball, I reckon, on that. They had the market share, they had the right idea, but I don't just think they've rested on their laurels for a little bit too long. Right, so take these spring clips off. Got one here where I had to take the springs off because they kept getting in the way of the head when it was homing. So I just take the clips off. I've long since lost them, so I'll use the clips off another one. And that's off. Okay, good. So that's the 4 clips off. This is my old bed. This thing doesn't like running at 90 degrees when I'm drying stuff. It always seems to peel off. But yeah, I don't know if you can see, this has been abused. Here's the line across here where it always, when you cancel something, it always drags back to home, and you can see it's really chewed that out there. Serious, you know, so many upgrades on this and they still haven't fixed that. I mean, check out I don't know if you can see the holes there. They're like stars there. Got them everywhere. But yeah, you know, got my money's worth out of that. So that's the whole aluminium plate. I'm going to be sticking straight onto this. So that's straight onto the heating plate. Give it a bit of a isopropyl alcohol. I don't think I've ever cleaned this, so it's never been degreased or anything. And it just, I thought this was locked. I'm not sure. It looked like it moved on me then. I'm not sure, maybe it hasn't. Maybe it was my imagination. That's cleaning nicely. Be interested to see what this works like. This is actually a bit exciting. It's the first upgrade I've done to this in ages. I think that really the only thing I've done is I put a better extruder on it. I wouldn't say it's that much better. It's all metal and it's got the double gears on each side and it's hardened because I do a lot of carbon fibre. And the all metal hot end. It took me a bit of experimenting to get one that actually worked. Happy with the one I got there. Now I wouldn't even know what it is. It was a cheap all metal one off AliExpress, and I had to make up a little aluminium bracket to get it to fit. So now this bit is going to go into here, and now I suppose at the end of the day what I should have probably done is watched a couple of YouTube videos on how to actually do this, because I'm not sure if there's a trick to it. I think what I'm going to do, and you're going to watch me stuff this up, I'm sure of it. What I'm going to do is probably start peeling off from the back and just drag the backing paper out as it sticks down. I think that's what I'm going to do. I mean, you guys can probably flame me on this, you can all laugh. I'm actually not sure what the best solution for this one is. I apologize, I didn't do my homework and research it. So if I put that on there like this and square it up like that, that should be, got it lined up here. I'm happy with how it's lined up on the front. I'm going to push that down on the back and start pulling the paper out. And that actually, now it's like putting the screen protector on your phone. I'll just do it from the middle first, let it go out. I'm actually really happy with that. That seems to have worked quite easily. So the trick is I pulled about 40mm of the paper back, folded it around underneath so it kept the sticky bit off the bed. Then I lined it up all nicely on the front, held it tight there, moved my hand to the back and just pressed it down on the back so it would stick, and then I lifted the front up to pull the paper out. So that's working well. I think we'll see what we will see. I'm going to keep pushing it out like that. And that's out. And it's done. Wow, this is exciting. I'm not sure what else I need to do to this. I didn't get any instructions with it. Yeah. Somebody's probably going to tell me that I shouldn't heat it up straight away or something like that. I'm going to hear all sorts of horror stories. Now, the fun bit. I've got the magnetic bed. I've got the clicky magnetic beds come off. That's awesome. That's all stuck in. I'm going to give this a bit more of a rub. Make sure it's all compressed. I mean, normally 3M stuff, when I've worked for in industrial applications, where we've actually stuck things like huge sheets of aluminium together and stuff, we've put a fixed pressure on it and left it for 24 hours to cure. I'm a bit impatient though. Just making sure that there's no bubbles. I think I spotted one there, but it looks like he's moved. Can't see anything else under there. There's one. Look, that was my drying box, my trusty drying box. Okay, so that is the magnetic plate put on there. I'm going to plonk it down. Oh, that's exciting. Right, now I'm going to see if I destroy it when I do the homing function. Let's see what happens. I'm going to be ready to jump on it and pull it down if it does anything silly. Yeah, I'm not sure. I expect this one actually to zero a little bit higher initially because it's got the steel there a lot closer to the inductive sensor. That said, I'm not sure how these inductive sensors work because aluminium reduces the inductance while steel increases the inductance. It might have a non-symmetrical response, but I don't really mind this spot over here. Actually, I'm going to put a bit of paper under it just to be a bit safer. Oh yeah, wow, okay. Wow, I did not expect this. I've got literally 5mm there now, so it is definitely detecting it a lot closer than it was detecting that aluminium one that we had on there before. Wow, okay. So that's homed. I'm going to leave this over here and I'm going to see what we can do with the zero offset, the Z offset, sorry, so back there. Now it's going to do this homing process again, but it's close anyway, so it shouldn't take too long to do that. It'd be nice to actually have the source code for this firmware, because there's just a few little things I'd tweak. Let's see what happens. Wow, okay. definitely 5mm in there, I reckon. So that's 4mm I've moved up. Now I'm going to go to 0.1 increments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ah, there we go. .4mm. I might actually have to move this inductive sensor up if this causes me problems. Anyway, I've zeroed it there. Wondering if I've got anything little I'm going to print. I've got something in here, I think. Alright, let's preheat. Heating the bed up now. We'll see how she goes. If there's any problems with this going up to 60 degrees. I've got some PA6 with carbon set up that I've just been printing with. Yeah, not too bad, that print quality on the PA6. I gave it a good dry overnight, and I don't know if you can see, it's quite a nice finish. I was actually surprised how well the stuff came out. I've had some trouble with that in the past, but as always, you just got to dry the stuff, dry, and keep dry. Right, so temperature's heating up. Yeah, you probably don't need to watch me print something. I think that's done. That's how I changed over to a magnetic build plate. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you have any questions, comments down below, and I don't know which ways. Like and subscribe, and I'll have more of these. I might give you an update on how it went. So hey, thanks for watching.